Fright fans will know that there's a new horror movie out that's been attracting some very glowing reviews from respectable sources. The film is called The Broken, and its central theme is of characters who are haunted by their own reflections. Characters who are being stalked by doppelgangers who appear to have escaped from mirrors. Characters who are effectively trapped within a dual world, this world and the world of reflection. It's an interesting idea which clearly allows for a lot of visual invention, and the director, Sean Ellis, has visual flair to spare. The question is, how original is the idea? And the answer to that is not original at all. Now, Sean Ellis is an interesting case. His previous feature was Cashback, which was expanded from an award-winning short, and which holds the dubious honour of being the single most sexist, misogynist movie I have ever seen. And bear in mind that I've seen I Spit on Your Grave, I've seen The New York Ripper, I've seen SS Experiment Camp, I've even seen Breaking the Waves, which up until that point held my award for the most sexist, misogynist movie I have ever seen. The idea of Cashback was that a young man is blessed with the ability to stop time. And what does he do with this ability? Well, he freezes time in order that he may walk up and down the aisles of supermarkets, lifting up women's tops, pulling down their pants and gazing at them with an artist's eye, seeing them as only an artist can. Well, I'm sorry, but bollocks to that. Now, the good news is that The Broken has none of the rampant misogyny of its predecessor. It's a very stylish chiller. But is it just a triumph of style over content? Is there anything substantial or original? Well, think about that plot. People are terrorised by horrible things which are lurking behind mirrors. Well, that'll seem strangely familiar to anyone who saw Mirrors, which was itself a remake of a South Korean movie, Into the Mirror. There's a key scene which Ellis has orchestrated very carefully in which a character is killed in a shower, an area into which fans of Psycho know that you only go with the greatest trepidation. And then there's another scene in which our heroine ventures up into an attic with spooky results, which is almost a shot-for-shot recreation of... well, you don't need me to tell you, do you? A few years ago, I wrote a piece for the independent newspaper entitled Horror Will Eat Itself, about the fact that the genre is essentially cannibalistic. I said that if you want to understand how the horror genre works, the best thing to do is take a look at the cover for the long-banned video nasty Anthropophagus beast, which has the eponymous beast on all fours, pulling out its insides and chomping down heavily on its own intestines. That, I said, is what the horror genre does with its past. But the question of how horror eats its own intestines is an important one. More than any other genre, horror fans and horror filmmakers are aware of the heritage of horror. One of the reasons that horror films are so full of references to other horror films is it's a way of the director winking at the audience. But it's one thing to say that I know, that you know, that I know. It's a completely different thing to say, I know, but I don't think you do. In the end, it comes down to whether you trust or like the filmmaker. Some critics writing about The Broken have seen the influence of Polanski's The Tenant or Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. When I saw it, I came out afterwards and I was speaking to a horror fan friend of mine and I said, well, I don't think the guy has any substance at all, but you know what? He's very stylish. It's like that thing that everyone always says about Dario Argento. You could take any frame from the movie and hang it on a wall. To which the guy said, yeah, but I don't think he knows who Dario Argento is. And in the end, that's the key to my problem with The Broken. There's lots of style, there's no substance, and no matter how much people praise his work, I still think that Sean Ellis is all smoke and mirrors.